Before you scroll, know this isn't fiction. This story really happened over 100 years ago. One man, one pickaxe, and a desert so still it could put the stars to sleep. What he found built a town and left behind a silence that never truly left. There is a place where the wind doesn't howl, it whispers. The Arizona desert, timeless, sunburnt, still, where nothing moves, but everything remembers. They told Ed Schieffelin he'd find nothing out here, just his own tombstone. But Ed wasn't chasing fame, or even fortune. He was chasing the glint, that shimmer in stone that no one else saw, a pickaxe in his hand, a canteen on his belt, and silence for company. Step by step, he vanished into the wild. Then one afternoon, he knelt, a strange shine beneath his fingers. Not just a rock, but silver. The kind of silver that makes men shout, makes trains move, makes towns rise. Ed looked up at the sky, quiet, thoughtful. Somewhere far in the distance, change had already begun. It started with footsteps in the dust, first one, then dozens, then hundreds. Miners with soot-stained cheeks, drifters with empty pockets, gamblers with quick hands, and women who knew how to read a room. They came with shovels and dice, with steam hissing from wagons, with stories longer than the roads they'd ridden in on. The desert, once silent, began to hum, a low rising sound, like thunder still too far to fear. Wooden buildings rose overnight, crooked but proud. Smoke curled from fresh chimneys. Rusted signs squeaked in the wind. The silence didn't vanish, it simply stepped aside. Ed watched from a ridge nearby, same hat, same boots. But something had changed. In the space of weeks, the wilderness had grown teeth, and Tombstone was learning how to bite. The buildings had no addresses yet. The streets were just dirt and footprints. And still, they called it a town. Not everyone agreed on what to name it. Some wanted something noble, others wanted something bold. But Ed remembered what the soldiers told him when he set out. You'll find nothing out there but your own tombstone. He turned that warning into a name, Tombstone, a joke, a dare, a prophecy. And just like that, the town had a heartbeat. A sign went up, saloons opened doors, and the sound of hammers faded into music, cards, and voices. As Tombstone grew, so did its shadow. For every fortune made, 5 more were stolen. The nights no longer whispered, they crackled. Dice rolled louder, voices got sharper, and the saloons never closed their doors. Ed still walked the same dusty paths, only now he passed men with holsters, not hammers. What had begun as a dream of silver was turning into something else. Trouble didn't ride into town. It grew inside it, like weeds between the floorboards. It started like most things in Tombstone, quietly. A lantern, a bottle, a drunken hand. No one remembers what tipped it first, but in the dark belly of Fremont Street, fire woke up. It moved fast, too fast. Wind carried sparks like whispers across rooftops. Saloons lit up like kindling, shouting turned to panic. Boots stomped through the dirt, buckets passed hand to hand. But the flames laughed louder. Ed stood in the smoke, not running, just watching. The same street he helped build, now devouring itself. The town had grown too fast, and for a moment, the desert seemed ready to take it back. But morning came, and among the ashes, laughter returned. Not because it was over, but because that's what Tombstone did. It burned and it kept breathing. And just like that, it began to go quiet. The silver veins ran dry. The money left. So did the men who chased it. One by one, the saloons shut their doors. The piano keys stopped singing. Even the dust seemed to settle slower. You could hear your own footsteps again. Ed walked alone now, the same boots, the same path, but fewer faces. He didn't mourn it. He just tipped his hat to the silence, like greeting an old friend come home. When his time came, Ed asked for no statue, no marble, no speeches, just a pile of stones. Out in the desert, he once dared to cross alone. They honored his wish. A rough marker, a quiet wind, and nothing else for miles. If you stand there today, you won't hear applause, you won't find a crowd. But if you listen closely, the desert still whispers his name. Tombstone didn't disappear, it didn't thrive, but it didn't vanish either. Tourists came, stories lingered, ghosts found their corners and stayed put. The town still stands, sunburnt and half sleeping, waiting for boots to echo on the boardwalk again. And somewhere, beneath it all, Ed's story lives on. But Tombstone was only the beginning, because out here in the West, every quiet town once had a loud past, and some stories are just waking up. And if you're still with us, thank you. You just lived a piece of American history, one that still echoes in the dust. Subscribe to Sleepy West for more real stories from forgotten towns. Because the West isn't dead, it's just sleeping.